Well, I want to thank the ACTEC Foundation for its support of my research, which has just absolutely been invaluable. I began this work by looking at wills in Alachua County, Florida, which is where the University of Florida is. And I was particularly interested in how people in non-traditional families, particularly blended families with stepchildren and second or third marriages, how they leave their property, because it's my sense that the laws of intestacy do not adequately reflect sort of the new normal of our modern family. So I did pulled some initial records, a few hundred, found some pretty stunning results that people in these non-traditional families, 80% of them with stepchildren, left property to their stepchildren, which, as you all know, intestacy codes do not treat stepchildren equally with children, and even if they do allow stepchildren to inherit, it's always just before the state, before an escheat to the state. So I was really intrigued at this result, and the results of that study were published in the ACTEC journal, which, thank you, was very nice. And after that, I applied for a grant from the ACTEC Foundation to hire some research assistants to help me collect a lot more wills, because even though I had collected, I think, almost 500 from Florida, I only got about 35 that I could tell involved stepchildren or second marriages. So I knew that I needed a lot more wills.
I worked with Professor Wright by going to the Alachua County Clerk of Court's website and downloading all the wills that were probated for the years of, I believe, 2016, 2017, 2017, 2018. And then I read through them all and put them into different categories depending on the donative trends in the wills. That was unbelievable fun. I do say unbelievable because I know some people will not believe that, but I had a wonderful time reading that and just reading how wills are drafted, how people put things in there that I think, you kind of get to know them a bit, because they put things in there, provisions for their pets, provisions for their kids. And it was actually a really, really touching experience.
And similar to Nicole as well, I found it very interesting and sometimes funny and sometimes very sad, and enlightening in a lot of ways, because you see the ages and you're seeing, as much fun as it is to see what they add in, it also is really fun to see what they didn't put in. You could really tell the status of familial relationships in a very fun way.
I started with the Alachua County records, I guess going through Nicole's, what she's pulled. And then I am now working on the San Francisco records, working on the other half of the year that Rachel didn't work on. And it's been very interesting just to see what people put in wills, and then also very sad sometimes when they, die unexpectedly.
And I think what we found is that people in these blended families do not conform at all to the intestate assumptions, or the assumptions that underlie our intestate default rules. So I hope that with this research, we can really have a national conversation about intestacy laws and the dominance of the sort of nuclear family ideal that really no longer reflects modern life.
It's definitely driven me towards a desire to work in the field of trust and estates. So, useful.
I can see a lot of societal value to the research that's being conducted. Families aren't what they were 50 years ago, and our intestacy laws do not reflect that. So this kind of research is crucial for adjusting for the contemporary family. You have lots of children being raised by grandparents these days, or being raised by blended families. I myself am a stepchild, and I am included equally with my stepfather's children, and that's something intestacy laws would never account for that. So it is imperative that intestacy laws keep up with society as society evolves.
But what about, too, I think just being law students, you spend so much of your time reading cases that you don't get into the weeds of actual, people's lives and the practice of law. Here you see the practice of law. You can see wills that are good and wills that are not so good.
I found it interesting. A lot of times, besides just looking at probate documents, I was also looking into people's obituaries and trying to garner some information about them that way too. So it's a lot more maybe hands-on practical life practice.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and also the kind of getting to see the differences between, especially working on Alachua County and then going to San Francisco, and like the differences in estates and, you know, kind of maybe priorities when it comes to the wills and that kind of thing. I found to be very interesting because obviously those two counties are extremely different.
I find it really inspiring. I feel like I'm helping people, especially when I think about this work with the real property. It's already gotten some attention, and I've already been contacted by, Alachua County to try to come up with a solution to help these people so they don't lose their homes. And that makes you feel good. That's the kind of research I think you want to do. And I couldn't have done it without the ACTEC Foundation. So thank you.